Hi everybody, Cash here, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me and welcome to my lovely cabin in the woods where it's snowing fiercely for Christmas, which is terribly good. We will today be tackling that most traditional of Christmas treats, the white chocolate and ginger scone. I know, nobody has scones for Christmas, but for the rest of the year, they're fantastic. You can have them with jam, you can have them with cream, you can freeze them, and just take them straight out of the freezer and eat them. They are really tasty, and they're hard to get wrong. But I'm sure one of two of you will find a way. I'm sure you will. I'm expecting those emails any day now. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you how to do these. It's so this isn't really a cabin, by the way. This is my television. These are great, these backdrops. They're so fantastic. But anyway, they're terrific, and I hope you enjoy them. And let me know what you think. All right? Alrighty, the first thing you have to do, before you start making the scones themselves actually, is to turn on the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll put the metric equivalents in the show notes below the video, because I don't know them. I'll look them up and tell you. You turn the oven on to 350 degrees. There we go. Oh, and turn it off again. If you happen to use the oven for storage, take the things out of the oven first. Don't turn it on while the pans are in there. You need a tray, one of these, heavy metal tray. And you cover it in parchment paper, which you can either just stick in the corners or you can cut out with scissors. And I tend to cut out with scissors because I just like it to be neat, but it's not essential. First thing you do is you get out your food processor and you put in 2.5 cups of regular flour and 1/2 cup of sugar. Add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, followed by 1/4 teaspoon, just a little less than 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You see, just a little bit less than 1/4 teaspoon. You've seen how this moves, look at it. It's all over the place. The next thing you're going to do is add 8 ounces of cubed cold butter. Alright? But before you can do that, you have to go through the ritual of sniffing the cutting board to make sure it doesn't smell of onions from last night. Which it actually does. So I'm going to wash it and then I'm going to cube the butter. I have the strength of a 3-year-old. I can't even cut butter without losing my breath. Oh dear. Wow. Okay, there you go. And you give it a few turns. And you do that. Then you put the rest of it in. And hit it. Show it who's boss. That loosens all the flour from the outside. There we go. For the chocolate, I just use regular commercial grade chocolate bits. Here's a fun fact. If I eat a handful of these, my contact lenses fall out. Nobody can explain why. It's like a phenomenon of nature. I now chop them, but you don't really have to chop them. It's just that I think, well, do people really want to know that I've got commercial grade chocolate bits in my scones? And it also makes them smaller, so you don't actually have bits sticking out, which is what happens sometimes. So I chop them. Now you load up the same 1/2 cup with candied ginger. put half the chocolate in at this point and half the ginger. This part for me is the only tricky part. It's because you've got to use something I really don't like, discretion. You've got to put about 1/3 cup of milk in a jug, which sounds easy, but for some reason I can't do it. I always get it wrong. If you put too much milk in, the scones are going to be kind of slushy. If you don't put enough, they're going to be dry. Right? But on a balance, it's better to not put enough in and add more later, because you can't take it out once it's in these mushy, horrible scones, right? It's just above the 1/3 cup mark. What is that? I don't know what the international measurement is for that, but it's just above the 1/3 cup mark. That seems to make the ideal scones. But you can play around with it. It's not laid down by law. That's why it's discretionary. But and it's why I can often screw it up. But 1/3 cup of milk, just over, plus a tad, and then a vanilla extract. Pour the mixture into here. Now, here's the thing. There may come a point where you're trying to turn the food processor on to do this final mix, to blend in the chocolate and the remaining ginger, and it gets stuck. I usually wait for the smell of burning, at which point I know that the machine is having a nervous breakdown. Yes, that smells about right. It doesn't matter too much, because what you do is you can tip it out onto a floured surface and just keep working it around until it's got a sort of non-gooey texture. So it's a little dry, but not too dry. You pat it down to about 3/4 of an inch, something like that, depending on how tall you want your scones to be. Flour your little shaper thing, your cutter, and go like that. Firmly, be firm. You're master here, right? You've got to be firm. Then shake it, and it comes out so easily. There you go. And again. And it's supposed to drop out with ease, but it doesn't. And they should fall out like that. There you go. What could be easier than that? Other than not making them. But you arrange them on a tray. You know, you've already done your tray with the parchment paper. You arrange them on there, not too close together. You don't want them to fuse into one big cake. And then you glaze them with an egg. You put egg in a jug with a splash of milk, just to loosen it up a bit, and then glaze them. Then, having done that, you simply stick them in the oven. For 20 minutes, you leave them in. And then you check them, because after that they may burn. There should be a slight resistance when you put your finger on them. Just long enough to realise that, oh my god, that's hot. Please don't do that. Please don't burn yourself. But what I do is I normally just press them a little bit, and if there's resistance, then it means they're probably cooked. But they also have to be a lovely, lovely golden brown, as you'll see in a moment. So while the scones are in the oven, you've got a chance to sit on the floor and eat a pear. They're really well worth the wait. I like them frozen. Some people like to warm them up and have them with scones, not pears. Like to warm them up and have them with jam or butter or whatever. But if you get the texture right, and it may take a couple of goes to get it right, but if you get the texture right, they're an absolute treat every time. Honestly, you won't regret making these scones. Then when you've eaten your pear, right, and it's about 10 minutes to go, or 6 minutes, 7 minutes to go, you open the oven and you turn the tray around to make sure you get even browning. See, there's a little resistance there. It's great. Those are perfect. So there you go. That was fantastic. They really, really are good. Oh, this is the real one, by the way. This is a real tree, not a video. But I thought these are absolutely terrific, and they're a real crowd pleaser, and they're so tasty. Oh. Give them a try. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic holiday season, and that 2021 is the most amazing year for us all. It's a rebirth. New things, great things, amazing things are eventually going to happen. We just have to weather the storm until then. But I hope everything goes really well for you, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.